This week on RaiderVision, we talk about the girls' weightlifting team, and we honor Ms. Gerlock. I'm Carlos Escotet, and this is RaiderVision. Last Monday, we celebrated Martin Luther King Day. We remember him and his legacy. With more, here's Anya Gruner from our sister site, The Raider Voice.
Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia on January 15, 1929. He received his education from Booker T. Washington High School, where he skipped 2 grades due to his intelligence. He later started his college education at Morehouse College at the age of 15, where he received his degree in sociology. He went on to receive a divinity degree from Crozer Seminary and his doctor's degree in theology from Boston University. His dad was a preacher, which inspired him to pursue the ministry. King Jr. went on to become a civil rights activist in the 1950s and 1960s. He led many nonviolent protests to fight for the rights of all people, specifically for the rights of African Americans. He hoped that America and the world could form a society where race would not impact a person's civil rights. In his first major civil rights action, he led the Montgomery bus boycott, where Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man. After she was arrested and helped to organize a boycott of the public transportation system in Montgomery, the boycott lasted for over a year. King was arrested and his house was bombed, but still he prevailed, and in effect, the segregation on the Montgomery buses came to an end. In 1963, King helped to organize the famous March on Washington, which over 250,000 people attended in an effort to show the importance of civil rights legislation. Some of the issues the march hoped to accomplish including an end to segregation in public schools, protection from police abuse, and the passing of laws that would prevent discrimination in employment. During this march, King gave his I Have a Dream speech, which has become one of the most famous speeches in history. The March on Washington was a great success, leading to the Civil Rights Act being passed a year later in 1964. In the same year, King was the youngest person to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his nonviolent resistance to racial prejudice in America. Not to mention, he was also awarded the Congressional Gold Medal and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. King Jr. was shot and assassinated by James Earl Ray on April 4, 1968 in Memphis, Tennessee. Despite his early death, he is still considered one of the great orators of modern times, and his speeches still inspire many to this day. Martin Luther King Day has become a national holiday honoring the achievements of the civil rights leader. This is Anya Gruner reporting for Raider Voice.
Reporter Jordan Bankston asked students and teachers how Martin Luther King's legacy has impacted their daily life.
Martin Luther King was a brave activist who helped people of color fight through adversity during the Civil Rights Movement. Dr. King is also known as a hero because of what he did and his willpower to not give up. I had a chance to talk with teachers and students to see what Dr. King and his legacy mean to them.
King really paved the way for Black people inside of a peaceful way. He didn't have to be aggressive towards people or do anything like that. He just took it one stride at a time, and I think that really contributed to the way that Black people are part of the community.
I think one of the things that he really did was provided us with peaceful solutions to achieving change.
His message was very enthusiastic. I felt like it still felt today. I feel like his message is a big reason that we have a lot of diversity and unity.
His legacy means a lot to me because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to go to a school like this and the world would be so much different.
It does mean a lot to me because seeing how even after slavery was abolished, how segregated the country was, how he was able to come together and rally an entire movement that really pushed most of that out of the way, where we can live in a place where we can be together.
As you can see, Dr. Martin Luther King's legacy still impacts us today. Reporting for RaiderVision, I'm Jordan Bankston.
The Small World Committee is holding auditions for their performance on January 31st and February 1st. If you want to give it a try, head to room 213 at 320. Ms. Molina says they're looking for all types of performers.
We're looking for performers such as singers, musicians, dancers, actors, actresses, anybody who wants to recite a poem, for instance, anything. In any language as well. It can be English, French, Italian, Portuguese, Japanese, Chinese, whichever language. Taught here at school or not being taught here at school. The performance takes place in March. It's a whole week from March 7th through the 11th. But the main show is on Wednesday, which is the 9th, March 9th.
Now, here's Jonah with sports.
Thanks, Carlos. After a difficult 4-0 loss against Oxbridge, the girls' varsity soccer team came back to settle the score. The Raiders opened up with decisive soccer that led to repeated chances early on. Despite a very physical Oxbridge defense, Catalina Garcia broke through and tucked it away with her left foot, putting the Raiders ahead. During a back-and-forth second half, Oxbridge drew a free kick and equalized in the game's dying embers. The score would end 1-1. The girls would also take a tough loss to Lord's Academy 0-1. The boys' basketball team bounced back after a tough week in their blowout of Pinecrest. Reporter Desmond Howard has the highlights from last Tuesday's game.
That's right, Jonah. The boys' varsity basketball team got back on track during a non-conference game against Pinecrest. The final score was 63-31, and it wasn't even that close. Jeremy Arnhem continued a streak of dominance with 18 points, notching a double-double with 10 boards. Amari Sanders spread the wealth amongst the stat sheet, accounting for 9 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. Jackson Mansfield added 8 points with 10 assists, as Denzel Dorn ended up snagging 10 boards. Back to you, Jonah.
The girls' weightlifting team has had many hard-earned accomplishments over the course of this year. Reporter Desmond Howard had a chance to speak with Coach Roman and how the girls have progressed and the work it takes to accomplish what they have done.
The girls' weightlifting squad has been a hidden gem for Gulliver Athletics all year. Without an abundance of recognition, the girls still managed to impress and truly hit their stride in the final stretch of the season.
Girls been doing phenomenal. Many of the girls, I think about 6 of them, PR'd, which means personal record, broke their record last meet, which was the 5th of January. So huge accomplishments this season.
Now, success was no stranger to the girls' weightlifting squad this season. However, they pride themselves on the hard work and dedication they put in on a daily basis.
Quite a lot, between cardio and stretching and strengthening. So there's a lot of encompasses to fitness and strengthening. And they all put in the work.
First we warm up and we do ITYWs. Then we start working with the bars and go from there.
We will start off with snatch, and then we will go on to clean and jerk, and then towards the end we'll do bench.
Rather than an accomplished athlete, Coach Roman looks for a certain type of person when assembling the weightlifting team.
It's just commitment, dedication, girls who want to grow and who are willing to listen to growing and strengthening.
Whether it's through their constant success in competition or an unwavering work ethic that presents itself day to day, the girls have continued to impress the Gulliver community. For RaiderVision, I'm Desmond Howard.
That's all for sports. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Jonah. Thank you for joining us this week. If you have anything to share or want anything to be featured, please email us at RaiderVision@gulliverprep.org. Julie Gerlock was not only an English teacher, but also influenced the lives of many students and faculty. We finished this week's RaiderVision with a tribute to Ms. Gerlock. We'll see you next time.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I wish I could say that I'm just here to welcome you to a new semester, but obviously we're here to honor, to celebrate, to remember our teacher, our friend, our colleague, Julie Gerlock.
Good morning. I'm sorry to be gathered here to do this today. I think of Julie. I think of all the things that she did for all of us. The cheer, celebrating unique days. Like, who knew that, this was the pig day, or the donut day, the National Donut Day, or for this coming semester, her students were going to do a lesson on kindness. That was what she was all about.
I attended many of her workshops, and then she came over to our campus and was my roommate. Actually, she would teach 2 classes in here when I was on my planning period. So she had a desk over on the side, and we became friends that way, more than just colleagues. She always joked around that she was not a very positive person, so she did everything she could be to be kind and to bring positivity because she needed the reminder. And I think she definitely left that with me, that impression. She's the reason I do brain breaks. She was all about the kids all the time, worked non-stop, even from the hospital. So I will miss her.
She just told me to keep on going forward, especially being new here at Gulliver. You know, I didn't really know how to do anything, and she taught me how to go to, like, where to go to my classes. She taught me how to ask teachers for stuff. She taught me how to ask for help. She just overall taught me how to be a student here at Gulliver.
She'll always, in the middle of practice, it's funny memory, she'll stop by and like stop practice. And like whoever didn't turn an assignment that day, she'll you know, take them into her classroom, see what class that they missed the assignment in, you know, help them out the next day with the assignment. Before practice, like the first hour before practice, she'll like bring us into her classroom, and then she'll like explain the material and like break it down, like X, Y, and Z, break down the material to various points. And like basically just like help me out with my homework and stuff like that. So when I go to a class the next day, I understand the material.
Very interesting story. The last week, I believe she was here on campus. You know, it was very difficult for her to get around. And I walked into her classroom. We were just going to have a conversation. And she said, "You know what, Ken, I get it. I really get it." And I saw her eyes like light up, like she really got something, whatever it was. And she said, "I've been serving and giving and giving and giving, and right now I can't give anymore." And she says, "But now I see my students giving back to me." And it sounds really cliche, but she said, "I get it. This is God's way of showing me how He loves me through my students."
For RaiderVision, this is Amelie Santini.